Well, millions of people across this country are affected by mental illness each year. I'm joined by Keisha Cheeks. She is on the board of the Fannie Mae Crumsey Foundation and chair of Empower Our Families Committee with the Pi Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Keisha, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to start by, first of all, saying that I am, in full disclosure, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so talk about, though, for the Fannie Mae Crumsey Foundation as a board member, Keisha, a little bit about the background, how this got started, and, you know, the mission of the foundation.
Right. So Fannie Mae Crumsey, a name that we're all hearing lately because there is a documentary out about the 5 ladies that were instrumental in suing the Ku Klux Klan. The family decided to create this foundation to foster some of the principles that Miss Fannie Mae Crumsey represented. It was always important to her to be involved in her community. She was always helping people and taking people in, but the family also wanted to focus on some of the stress that what they lived through during that time, and that really at that time there were not very many good coping strategies known in the African American community for us to deal with. And so you can imagine the stress that these ladies, I mean, they were harassed and they were threatened. We know this. Yeah. During that time. And so the family really wanted to focus on mental health, and they started this foundation.
Really, and what, you know, you can say they were visionaries in a lot of ways, because when you think about this and you think about that time frame, and, you know, mental illness, that's not something that was thought of or really talked about during that. You know, people just kind of, you know, shunned it and didn't talk about it. So, you know, you said, no, the foundation was formed and said, we've got to address this, and especially these stigmas and what we see in the African American community. So you all started holding these series of events, and let's talk about these and what you all are doing when it talks about destigmatizing mental illness and mental health issues.
All right. So we've been hosting a series of seminars to talk about mental health. Each one focuses on a different area or strategy. So this particular seminar that's coming up is our 3rd one, and we will be focusing on coping mechanisms. And the idea is, the focus is always educating how to recognize when someone is in a mental health crisis, and then equipping the people who attend the seminar with some tools and ways that they can help their friend, their family member, their coworker. It really is meant to educate the everyday person. It's not for, you know, it's not meant to the psychologists, and those are not the persons that these seminars are targeted for. They're targeted for just everyday people, and as you're going about your life and you're interacting with others, that you may recognize that someone is in a mental health crisis and they are experiencing a mental health issue, and then ways that you can reach out and help them.
I think that's so important that you said that, and we have some pictures from some of you all's previous sessions that we can put up while we're talking about this. But one of the things you said is that, you know, this is for the everyday person. If you see someone and you're like, okay, are they struggling with mental illness? How do I help them cope with that? What do I say? How do I approach that topic? And it's so important, instead of just like, do I not say anything? Or, you know, they could be having a mental health crisis or near, you know, how do I deal with that and make sure that they get the help that they need?
Right. And one of the things we focus on is really just not making things seem like it's rare. You know, one thing, we didn't really talk about it in our community, but at different times, all of us struggle with our mental health. We go through things in life. We lose loved ones. And so really what we call a mental health crisis, we might be having a depressive state or such. And so really, how can I help that person? How can I first recognize? I have to recognize
it. Yeah.
Recognize that that person may be struggling, and then how can I help them? And not so that maybe you may not be equipped, but we educate the persons who attend the seminars on resources, organizations, but really, how can you talk with that person in a way where they don't feel like, oh, there's something wrong with me, I don't want to talk about it, and that it is okay to talk about what you're going through.
I think that key points there, like you said, so that it's not like, oh my God, this is rare, it's something wrong with me. No, it's okay. A lot of people, and you are seeing more and more people come out and talk about mental illness, more celebrities and more people saying, get help,
Right.
So that's so important. So we want to remind people of that, because when we see this statistics, do you think we're breaking through as we wrap up, especially in the African American communities? I know that like in my church, a lot more churches are talking about this, they're dealing with this, whereas for years you didn't. I mean, you look at these statistics and we talk about how common it is. 1 in 5 adults, 1 in 20 adults experience serious mental health, and 1 in 6 U.S. Youth ages 6 to 17 experience mental health. So especially when we start looking at this across the country, and then especially in certain communities like communities of color, do you see us making progress?
We are making progress, and certainly as we're holding these particular seminars and other organizations are holding more seminars and we're talking about it more, we're bringing more attention about it, and therefore we're making progress. We're making it more known, more acceptable. Just when you think about, as you said, we have celebrities and different people that are coming out talking about their mental health, and you're not being shunned. It's not a shameful thing to say that, I'm not doing well right now and I need help.
And like you say, your committee, Empower Our Families, this is one of their areas of focus.
Right. So Pi Mega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, we focus on mental health. We have several different targets that we focus on in the community, but particularly mental health. Just thinking about what we were saying in terms, are we making progress? The fact that our organization, a sorority of hundreds of thousands of members, are focusing on mental health, and that how important it is that we are able to go out in our communities, provide seminars such as this, and educate and help address this issue.
Keisha Cheeks, thank you so much for being here, and we have the information up there on the screen where people can see that and can attend that event. Thank you.
Thank you.